Let's continue with the next section. 1.2 Formulas and Applications. So our objectives are A. Evaluate formulas and solve for a formula for a specified letter. Many applications of mathematics involve relationships among two or more quantities. An equation that represents such relationship will use two or more letters and is known as a formula. So some formulas that maybe you've seen in your past math courses are perimeter, which is a sum of all the sides, area, which is the space it takes up. So this is the perimeter and area formula for a square. We also have this area formula for a circle and the circumference, the measurement around the circle. And that funny figure, it's called pi. And you can find this as a button on your calculator. It is an irrational number that just repeats forever and ever. And we usually say that it's about 3.14. About. Let's see an example where we will use a formula. Oprah is 5 feet 7 inches tall, and she has a body mass index of approximately 23.5. What is her weight? Well, it doesn't really give us much information, so perhaps there's a formula we need to use. Solution. The body mass index, I, depends on the person's height and weight. The formula from the text is, so if we have a body mass index, I, then that's found by 703 times your weight divided by your height squared, where W is the weight in pounds and H is the height in inches. All right, so we're told some piece of information. We're told the body mass index is 23.5. What what letter is represented by that in the equation? So I would be that, right? 23.5 would be I. We're also given her height, and her height is H, but her height is in inches. Here we're given a mixture of feet and inches, so we have to do some work. All right, so we see that 7 feet 7 inches is 67 inches. How do we get that value? Well, we know that there's in 1 foot there are 12 inches. So we have 5 feet. We have to multiply it by 12 to get our measurement in inches. 5 times 12 is 60. And then we add those extra 7 inches. So we get 67 inches. That's how we got that number. All right, this is our formula. Now let's go ahead and replace those values in. So we were given H and I. I was 23.5 and we found H to be 67. So our answer, once we use our calculator, we get a weight of 150. Oprah's weight is about 150 pounds. This next problem is asking you to solve for x. It's saying, let's get x by itself. We want to move everything that is an x and use our rules of addition property and multiplication property to make this happen. All right, so let's go ahead and move this b. This b, we see that it's being added. So to move it, let's subtract both sides by b. So minus b minus b. b minus b, well, that's gone. It's like money. If you subtract all your money is gone. So we're left with x on our right-hand side. And our left-hand side, we're left with y minus b. And that's it. We solved for b. Let me go ahead and erase that so we can see the next slides. We're here. All right, so we subtracted b and we're left with our answer of y minus b. Let's go on to the next slide. Solve for w. All right, so we want to go ahead and solve for w. I think there's a typo, we need those extra values, that equal sign and that plus. So our goal here is to get w by itself. We want to get it alone. All right, so what can we do to make that happen? Well, we have that fraction on the outside, 3 over 4. Let's get rid of that fraction. Let's multiply it by 4 on both sides. So let's multiply it by 4 and multiply it by 4. We do that because 4 divided by 4 is 1. So we managed to get rid of that fraction. Now we're here. All right. Well, we need to work with that 3. Let's go ahead and distribute that 3. 3 times w is 3w, and 3 times 15 is 45. We want to get w by itself, so let's go ahead and subtract 45. So we have minus 45, that's gone, and then minus 45 to that 4a. So that we're left with 4a minus 45 is equal to 3w. Last piece, I want to go ahead and get w by itself, so let's go ahead and divide by 3. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And we're left with 4a minus 45 divided by 3 is equal to w. Or 4a over 3 minus 15. Why is this other one an option? Well, if we look at our equation, this 3 is dividing two numbers. The two numbers on the top. It's dividing that 4a, and it's also dividing 45. I can't really do anything with that 4a. That 4a is just going to say 4a divided by 3. But I can divide 45 and 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15. So that's why we have this other option for our answer, for W. All right, I know these are tricky, so when you're working through your homework, please send me those Ask Your Instructor questions. I'll be happy to help you. All right, so that was it for this section. To solve a formula for a given letter, identify the letter and multiply on both sides to clear fractions, decimals if necessary. If parentheses occur, multiply to remove them using the distributive law. Collect like terms on each side. If necessary, this will require factoring if a variable is in more than one term. 4. Using the addition principle to get all terms with the same letter to be solved for one side of the equation and all other terms on the other side. Solve the letter in question using the multiplication principle. Let's do one more example. Solve y equals mx2 plus y mx1 for m. So our goal is to get m by itself. Notice we have two copies of m. All right, let's begin by getting m by itself. So our problem is y plus m2 is mx2 is equal to mx1. So let's go ahead and get our m's together. So we do that by subtracting both sides by mx2. So that's gone, minus mx2. So we have y equals mx1 minus mx2. All right. Now we go ahead and we factor. So we go ahead and divide out the m from each one. So we're left with m times x1 minus x2. Lastly, since we want to get m by itself, let's go ahead and what we want to do next is go ahead and divide out everything that's not the m. So we want to divide out that x1 minus x2. We divide it on both sides like we see here. Lastly, we get our answer is y divided by x1 minus x2 is equal to m. All right, that's it for section 1.2. Thanks.